Hey guys, welcome back to the stream. This is Connor from Futures Analytica bringing you guys another live futures trading stream. So today, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start out here actually in trend mode. So we're doing this because this current range that we've kind of exited is much larger than our take profit and stop loss. We're going to be marking out those previous zones right there. So that's going to be our range, and we're going to consider a clean break throughout either of those a line break. Sorry guys, that was my alarm. Just here, we're going to be waiting in arm both directions, and we're going to just not going to be taking any action unless we see a large change in either delta or how price action is moving, which of course I'll let you guys know what to do. But it looks right there that we got filled long there. We're going to be obviously rearming it in both directions. Just going to expand our zone here just so you guys can see it a little bit better. Just going to start doing some Q&A messages as well. Downloaded the beta on the day of release. However, the PolarityML app.exe file that is on the computer to record the learning crashes upon opening. It will not stay running in the background. I tried to email issue development team. It requires me to input a text file and do not have one. No worries, Boomtown. So we are going to be pushing an update for that very, very soon. Actually, it's going to be 10 minutes after the stream ends where we'll be fixing that issue. Also, along with many other issues too that you guys have happily reported to us. Thank you guys so much for that. My audio is extremely low. Can you help me? All right, I'll move it in a little bit. How's that? Let me know how the audio volume is now. I do have a new setup today. Just moved, so we'll see how this goes. I think the room I'm in has a lot of echo though. Awesome, there's our first fill of the day, up to 234.10 on the day. Hi Connor, can you put on live chat or read the questions really slow? Absolutely, I can read the questions pretty slow. The thing with live chat is that I do have to constantly be watching that, and I can see when someone's question might get lost because I'd have to scroll up and there'll be kind of chit chatter going on there too. My ATM today is, I believe, to be what I was using before, just with a 14 take profit, 16 stop loss. How can I change my machine ID because I purchased a new VPS? Just shoot me an email and we'll get that sorted out for you. Are you going to be sending out video training on how to set up the machine learning? Yes, absolutely. There's a PDF obviously included, but obviously we're going to be working on some video content too. Oh guys, that's my bad. Gotta open up my executions page right there. Of course, it is outside of my screen, so I can't even see it. I'm actually only running one monitor today, so a little bit of an issue there. I can only see it on the on my streaming software, but that's okay. You guys can see it. Just gonna move around the chart trader here. Share your polarity settings for today. Yeah, I just used the default and I clicked optimize. Looks like we got a fill there and we won that trade. Pretty awesome. Because remember, we have machine learning now. You don't have to fiddle with settings at all. Got filled short here. Going to be obviously rearming it in both directions. And another win. Up to 521 on the day. If we can get 8 more like that, that would be perfect. We noticed a delta divergence here at 919. We saw a 77 positive delta with a downward motion bar. This bar closes upward, we're going to be switching it into regression mode. Jay Berlick says, optimize crashes on each bar, so can't use that for now. Will today's update fix? Yes, it will. So the reason why that's crashing is because you cannot use training mode and optimize settings mode at the same time. Those are mutually exclusive. On the next update, we are going to make it so it's hard-coded so you can't enable those both at the same time. But if you don't want to crash, just disable training mode and just turn on settings optimization. How will machine learning be different between users if we all hit the optimization button and let it ride? It'll be different based off of your execution and your internet. So it's going to simulate that. It's going to get a detail on how exactly your system trades. And of course, that's going to be different based on, I mean, if you're letting it ride, it's going to be very, very similar. But once you actually start trading, it's going to be incrementally learning based off of that, and it's going to change based off of your behavior. So everyone's going to have a tuned model to their specific trading style. Are you currently working on the machine learning update that will auto switch between trend and regression? Yes, we are. I don't even have a release date for that yet, so I can't really give you any information on that. Thanks for that, Jay Berlick. If that's not the issue, it would be super helpful if you could support a bug report so we can look into it more. Do you have people who use Rhythmic only, no CQG successfully with Polarity, or is CQG a must? Yeah, we absolutely have a lot of people who use Rhythmic on their own. If you're trading a prop firm, all you need is Rhythmic. Can we use the new machine learning on playback? Yes, you absolutely can. We've designed it specifically to be able to use on playback so you can train it whenever you want. I'm going to be marking out these zones here for you guys. How will the ATI pick up on your bad habits? No, it should actually do the opposite. It'll recognize those habits and it will try and counter those with changing your parameters. Does it matter if I use historical versus market replay? In backtesting, we highly recommend using actual market replay rather than historical. Do you have the same settings you posted for Scalp and Q yet? I'm getting filled way more than you. Okay, once again, guys, I'm not using static settings. These are with the machine learning update. You can download that. We sent out the update to that. And we're gonna send out another one in 10 minutes after the stream ends. So again, it's just automatic. You don't have to put in any settings. It's just going to automatically find the settings, which is what I'm using here with the machine learning settings optimization on button on the right-hand panel side of the screen. Is it possible to layer other trained data on the data Connor trained data from other indicators as well? And will they show up in the CSV? Yes, they will. You can improve on that data instead of just overwriting it. Going to be switching in here to trend mode there. Kind of missed out on that. Kind of getting a lull in volatility, but that's what we get when we start a little bit late. Hi Juan, thank you for submitting that bug report. I'm sure that we did get to it. Our developer has been watching that, and you might not receive a response, but once you see the update, it should fix that bug. Hey Boomtown, might be good to wait till after the beta if that's the case. We are sending out an update which should fix your issue though. Looks like we got fell short here, guys. Obviously going to be rearming it. If we ran to this range, though, we're definitely going to be in regression. Kind of a slow day so far. It's unfortunate. Yes, I can stay closer to the mic. Hopefully this volume that it's at right now is good. Hi Evan, yes it absolutely will change the problem described by as a grow. So where the CSV does not take indicators into account, that will be fixed. We're always working on improving that, so thank you so much for submitting that bug. This individual asked, how far back is your model template trained on? And if the duration is long, won't the optimizations not account or skew for more recent volatility? So the way that this works, it's actually not based off of a static parameter. It's going to be very dynamic, and because it's a machine learning model, the way that it takes decisions on that isn't actually quantifiable by, you can't look into it and reverse engineer a machine learning model. It has individual neurons that are formed based off of observational data, and it's able to adapt. So it's not just a static backtest where you're just doing an overall optimization and getting overfitting. So with the machine learning model, it's going to be able to adapt to new data as well. It won't skew it. On calculate settings, it is on bar close or on each tick. It actually doesn't matter. So we set it up to where it doesn't actually affect it. If my current profitable, I'm not sure I understand the question. Could you rephrase that? No, that's actually not true from RE Digital Agency. That's not only if incremental learning is enabled. If that's not, it's still going to adapt to new market data. It's not going to improve the model if you have that disabled, but it is still going to adapt. It's not just a static parameter optimization. So when you have the incremental learning enabled, it's actually going to train the model as you trade with the optimizations. But if you have that disabled, it's still going to adapt to new market data by comparing it to its model. For training data, would you suggest two machines, one for live trading, one for training data? No, I actually don't. I don't suggest that. You can just simply use the same machine for that, because you can just turn on incremental learning and you can trade while training. Why do you still have to switch from trend to regression mode with the new polarity? So what we've done here is we've done settings optimization. That's going to be next, where it automatically does that. You actually can. Actually, that's not part of the new update, but we are working on that though. So that's just not a part of what we've created here. This is a pretty big deal though. In fact, I think this is actually better than an automatic trend and regression switch, because it's just going to overall increase the base level accuracy that you're going to have when you're trading a strategy. Does bar size matter, or will ML optimize for any bar size? Yeah, it'll optimize for any bar type or bar size that you use. It does not matter. Hello, you're saying that minimum balance volume, minimum balance ratio is changed almost every second, but adversary detection is the same throughout the trade unless we change it manually. That actually shouldn't be true. My adversary detection right now is actually dynamically moving. So I'll definitely look into that. I'll make sure that we get that fixed for the customer build. Going to be switching it here into regression just because this obvious range has been formed here. Just got filled short there. Awesome. We're actually a little bit under leveraged here. I don't know why I'm only using 5 contracts right now, but that's okay. It's first day back in a while. I took kind of the whole week off trading just because I had to do a lot of stuff with the update, and I just moved, so it's been kind of a hectic past week. So I guess it's fine. Hey Winnig, thank you so much for the interest. Shoot me an email right now, and we'll get you upgraded. Hi Chris, thank you so much for the follow-up, and I appreciate the support, especially since you have been a long-time user. I'm sorry you missed that last stream, and I see you do have a question. I will check that out after the stream. I do have an update to push out, so it might take the rest of the day, but I will get back to you by the end of the day. Can I use a different footprint for polarity optimization? Example, Trade Devils one from Michael Valtos or Order Flow Trader. So there is compatibility. You can definitely use the polarity strategy with any of those footprints, and there won't be an issue. But I will say that the only drawback to that is that we don't have any guarantees that it's going to learn off of indicator data from those footprint charts. Should Polarity ML Beta be placed solo or with PolarityATI v6? It should be placed on its own. So the machine learning version of Polarity is its own standalone, or not standalone, it's a bundle. So it's its own thing. You don't have to place anything else, and it's on its own. Should I expect email around 9:30 a.m. PST for new Polarity update? 10 minutes after the stream, I'm going to send it out. Would it make sense to trade across 3 markets at the same time to get more opportunity, like ZB, ES, and NQ? Absolutely. If that's something that you're able to mentally do, I highly suggest that. This person asked, what is the optimal RSME and R2 values? So in a perfect world, an RSME of exactly 0 would indicate a perfect fit, meaning that the model predictions match your observations exactly, which is almost never achievable with real world data. Therefore, the lower the RSME, the better. However, the optimal or good value of RSME is relative to the scale of our target variable. So comparing RSME to the standard deviation of the observed values can provide some good context on how well our model is performing. But basically, the lower the better. Also, with R squared, it's a proportion of the variance for a dependent variable that's explained by an independent variable or variables in a regression model. An R squared of 1 indicates a model that perfectly predicts the target variable. Conversely, an R squared of 0 indicates a model that does not explain any of the variability of the dependent variable. In practice, a higher R2 value indicates a model that better fits our data. However, it's definitely possible for R squared to be misleading, especially in cases where we have a nonlinear relationship involved, which we don't, or the model is overfitted, which we've made to be very, very difficult. Looks like we finally got a short fill here. Can you explain why you didn't switch to trend there? Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't a clean enough break. It didn't get far out enough from that. What's the adversary detection at this time? I'm not sure. It's being automatically optimized. Awesome. Came out winning that trade. Um, got a little bit scared for a second there. We're back up to our break even, but heuristic parameter optimization is the same thing as machine learning settings optimization. The development build I'm working on just doesn't have it named that. Obviously, that we're going to change it to heuristic parameter optimization. I just moved to a VPS to Speedy Training and want to know if I can just download the new update or will I need to transfer other files as well. You can just download the new update. You're going to have a changed machine ID when doing that, so make sure to shoot us an email so we can transfer it for you for free. What a boring market. I'm just happy to see it doesn't set the entry criteria as low enough to take whatever or whatever at this time. So yeah, thank you for that. We worked hard on making sure that we're able to get an accurate model. Yeah, we're gonna be optimizing that exe. We're gonna get the file size down. Oh shoot, I wasn't even armed. That's really embarrassing. But yeah, we're gonna be decreasing the file size and we're gonna be optimizing it. So in time, it will be very much more, how do you say it? Optimized. It won't take as long for your PC. It shouldn't be taking that long though. Connor, if I was looking to use this with Apex Trader, is there a difference between the Rhythmic/NT option or the Tradeovate/NT option? I'm not totally sure what that question means. I know Rhythmic is a data provider and technically a broker as well, but Tradeovate, I don't think they just offer data. I think Tradeovate's a platform. So our system only works with NinjaTrader. I maybe have misunderstood your question, or maybe I'm not getting up-to-date information. Maybe Tradeovate did come out with a data provider, but I would highly suggest using NinjaTrader. I mean, that's the only system that our system works with. Hi, about learning from own trades. If current profitable percent is low, so there's a lot of bad trades, will the feature actually improve results? Or if you feed it bad trades, it still produces bad results. So we've made it so that it'll actually try and compensate for those errors you're making. It's going to be able to identify where those errors are and why they're being made. It's also going to be able to distinguish that between just the normal trade losses that you're going to get when trading any strategy, where there's statistically going to be some trades that are losses. But if there are losses that are identified that are structural error, where you are making a mistake in doing a regression mode switch or a trend mode switch, it's going to be able to compensate for that and optimize settings based off of different formations that look like that area that you had lost that trade in. So yes, absolutely. So we don't have to change settings or anything with a new update. Yes, that's true. For starters, the default settings would be good enough for taking trades. Yes, absolutely. Just use the default settings and then flick on the optimization button and you should be good to go. Hey Rampet, thank you so much for that message. If you haven't already, shoot us a bug report. We may have already fixed this issue, which will be rolled out in the new release that's coming out today. How do you trade on a top-step combine while using a different data feed other than Rhythmic? You can connect to actually multiple connections at the same time when you're in NinjaTrader. So you just connect to them simultaneously and it'll automatically take the fastest order data. Does the machine learning update also optimize minimum stacked imbalances? No, it doesn't, but maybe we could put that in there. I never really thought of doing that because I never change it, but if you guys are interested in that, we can add that as a checkbox. Hey SFG Vicus, if you weren't able to turn on the optimization button, it's likely that you had training mode enabled. Make sure that is disabled. Wow, talk about an intense trade there. That was like, I think, less than a tick away from getting stopped out, even though that's technically not possible. But it seemed like we were a tick away from getting stopped out there. Connor, you and Zach are doing awesome. Also, I would like to know, how do I have to do a complete removal of the machine learning? I now have, and then import the new update. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate those words of affirmation. It's always very nice of you. And yes, actually, so with the new update, you are going to have to remove everything that comes in the original folder. Going to be removing the current models. Any models you've trained are actually going to have to be retrained on this new update. We've made it smarter, so that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have to do that. Of course, that's going to be included in the guide that we sent out with the update. Awesome. Looks like we took the dub on that trade. 1840 on the day. Is there any latency impact in the event someone wants to do trade copying, multiple evaluation, or PA accounts? So that's just going to be up to your trade copier software. You trade copying based off of the Polarity inputs is actually not going to cause any issues on its own. But if you're going to have, like with any trading with trade copying, if there's latency there's going to be latency in Polarity as well. So just keep that in mind. Just make sure you're using good trade copier software, and you should be good to go. Alexander says, there's a specific data feed or way to significantly reduce latency to get hyper accurate fills. So I understand what you're trying to do here. If you really, really want the absolute highest, you can technically lease a seat on the exchange, and you can get a VPS right next to the exchange. That's going to run you about $6,000 a month, but you'll get execution speeds and data feed less than 2 milliseconds. So it's costly, but it's definitely doable. software adaptable during news events? I actually don't recommend keeping it on at all during news events. It's going to be trained off of areas where it sees sudden spikes in volatility, but I don't suggest it because it can't read news. You can see that the market's continuously moving downward here, but we're still in regression because it's not a clean breakdown or breakup. This user just asked any more details on that 6K feed, where to enroll and look up. I just put something in the YouTube chat, which is going to show you just like a general overview of what the costs are and how to get that. But leasing is pretty inexpensive compared to owning, of course. The price to buy a membership on the CME is about $350,000, so that's a little bit outside of a lot of our price ranges. So I recommend leasing if you want to go that route. Hello, with Apex, can I use your software? Absolutely. We have a lot of users using it on prop firms like Apex and Apex itself. It is safe to use on Apex because it's not a high frequency trading strategy where it does latency arbitrage or news arbitrage. It's completely fine to use on Apex. Hey, how come yours says ML settings where the one pushed out indicates heuristic setting? It's just a name difference. It's the same thing. But in the new update, it's going to be called heuristic settings. And of course, mine's going to be changed to that too. Do you need to train the model every time you set up a session? No, absolutely not. You do not need to train the model daily. That's not, no. You only have to train it once, and then you can enable incremental learning, and it'll just learn as you trade. Can you explain what the new updates will be? I'm still observing and interested in purchasing. So the new update is that we added a machine learning model system to Polarity. So what it's going to be able to do is it's going to train based off of past data, and it's going to learn from that. So it's going to optimize your entry settings and your exit settings as well. So based off of those factors, it's going to continuously optimize based off current volatility or different market movements, different areas. So it's going to make it significantly easier to trade. And of course, those models are going to be different for regression and trend in terms of decision making. So what's going to happen is that if you're in trend mode, it's going to be not just the exact opposite of what's going to happen in regression mode. So overall, we've just made the system a lot smarter and a lot more adaptable. So and you're not going to be getting times where you have overfit a model to the market and you're going to get blasted when the market changes. So we've just made it much more adaptable and flexible. If I trade MNQ to practice and learn versus the NQ mini, will that change results besides the amount of P&L per contract? No, actually. So we have a exclusive feature. I don't see any other companies that do this right now. So in the strategy settings, there is something called use full contract data. So if you're trading micros, you can just check that box, and what it's going to do is it's going to trade the order flow data based off of the full contract, not the micro contract, but it'll still take micro contract trades. It's going to lead to, of course, much higher accuracy, because when trading micros, the order flow data is just not that indicative. The amount of money going in and out of micros is just so small compared to the amount of money going into minis. So we have that base covered, and if you're interested in trading micros, I highly suggest it. Micros are a great way to start, and I recommend using that setting if you're doing so. Connor, if you're waiting to hit 5K, we're going to be here a while. Lol. No, I'm not waiting to hit 5K today. I think I'm just going to go for just above 2,000 on the day, and we're probably just going to end the stream there. Or in about 5 minutes, we're going to be ending that. But yeah, no, that's probably not going to happen today, especially with this volatility. Good to hear, Connor. Will the machine learning still improve its trading when you put it on AutoArm? Yes, it absolutely will. It will improve the trading based off of AutoArm. You know, guys, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm probably going to call it an 1840. I really wish I'd increased my contract size before we traded to compensate for our lower ATM profit target, but that's okay. You know, can't get it all, and that's okay for a first day back after a week. So I'm happy with how it went. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream, and stay posted for that update. It will be sent out very shortly after this this stream is over. Thank you guys for tuning in.